and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that are on pre-order this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday at 9, so head on over to infinityflux.net right now and start making those pre-orders so you don't miss out on any of these fantastic books when they're released in a few weeks. And this is a pretty big show. I mean, we're saying it every week now.
Because it's true.
It's true. It's a great time to be a comics fan.
Yep.
So let's get into it. So you have a better idea of what to expect when you go to place your orders.
We are going to start with Doomed 2099 number 1, not to be confused with Doom 2099 from back in the 90s. This is a new
or One World Under Doom.
That's right.
Bring on the bad guys Doom. It's a
very Doom. It's Doom's world. We're all just living in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Doomed 2099 number 1. This is going to be written by Frank Thierry. The art is by Delio Diaz, and this tells us that the future is doomed. But Old Man Logan, Rachel Summers Phoenix, Bishop, Cosmic Ghost Rider, the Maestro, and Deathlock all say otherwise. So even if this didn't have anything to do with Doom 2099, I'm already sold based on that lineup.
Maestro. When's the last time we saw Maestro?
That's right. But then it says, will the arrival of Doom 2099 change the odds for the new Sorcerer Supreme? I don't know what that means. Is one of those characters the new Sorcerer Supreme? Is there going to be a right? The Maestro, that would be scary. But is there going to be a new Sorcerer Supreme that Doom then comes in and tries to take their powers from? Because that we haven't ever seen that since a few months ago when Doom did that the first time. But I'm very excited for this. I loved Doom 2099 when I was a kid back in the 90s. I love this whole lineup of other characters that's going to be in this.
Yeah, it's an interesting future Avengers, future all those characters are kind of like, oh, you understand why they're there. They're the older, they're time travelers. Yeah. It's kind of surprising that Cable's not there, but it's those kind of characters, and I don't think we've ever seen those teamed up that way.
Right. And the weird thing is, I don't know what this story is about because there was no announcement about this. We didn't know about this, I think, until maybe it was either last week or the week before in the Marvel books. Mm-hmm. I was reading them for our Monday show, turned the page to the end, and in the back there was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Doom 2099? I haven't heard anything about this. Marvel, usually with their big series, they'll release some kind of press release or something, but there was nothing about this whatsoever, so I don't really know what the story's going to be about other than just this little bit from the solicitation.
It's also interesting because we've had the Spider-Man 2099 miniseries and all of that. Those were all written by Steve Orlando. This is written by Frank Thierry. Yeah. So it makes me think this doesn't have anything to do with those.
Yeah.
Or falling in that line of Venom 2099, all that. Yeah. This feels like its own thing. So it makes it a really good jumping on point, even if you haven't read any of the previous stuff.
Yeah, so we will definitely be reading this when it comes out on July 30th. We'll let you know ahead of time, but for right now, I'm already sold on it. So this is our A cover. We have a Dan Panosian Doomed Mask foil variant. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. So it's Doom's Mask. I thought this was one of those mask covers. Yeah. No, but it's Doom's Mask, but this is going to be foil, and then there is a Ken Lashley variant, also with both Dooms.
So I wonder... That's regular Doom on 2 of the covers. Is he the Sorcerer Supreme? And then
you mean present day Doom?
Yeah,
that would be super cool. If it's it's ending to One World Under Doom. It's actually he kept the Sorcerer Supreme powers.
What if this is a what if story if it just kept going?
I don't know, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. Well, next up. Something else that sounds really, really cool. This is Superman Treasury 2025 Hero for All one-shot. So what does that all mean? So to begin with, this is going to be a Treasury-sized book. So this is big. This is bigger than a magazine. Mm-hmm. It's one of those big ones. And to showcase this bombastic story, we have Dan Jurgens writing it. One of the most famous Superman writers of all time, the man who killed Superman, and
artist too,
he's double guilty.
Yeah.
And the art is by Bruno Redondo. So if you're familiar with his run on Nightwing, how incredible that was, they are bringing you a Superman one shot. We actually got to preview some pages of this earlier. They didn't have dialogue on them, but the art in this is incredible.
Yes.
This is one of the most iconic looking Supermans, fighting big robots and all that kind of stuff. So the story in this is not anything that immediately like stands out, but I feel like there's going to be more to it because it does say when a vicious armada of extraterrestrial extremists launches an all-out invasion on planet Earth, only Superman can stand in the way of total annihilation. But there's something different about the attack, and it says it's deadly from both without and within. What does that mean? I don't know, but from looking at it, now that I saw some pages, I'm way more hyped about this.
Yes. Yeah, visually, this thing is gorgeous. So we were flipping through it. Don't really know what the story is yet, but and we will say that more than just Superman is in here. You know.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, a surprising amount of characters.
mhm. So it looks really fun. Whatever the story's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be great to match the visuals. But
Yeah.
there's one double page spread near the beginning that looks amazing.
Yeah.
This actually comes out on July 9th. So 2 days before the
Mhm.
Superman movie. So if you are wanting to, sort of get grease the wheels for that, get ready for that, this would be a great book to pick up.
Yes. So we have an A cover for this. We have a Dan Jurgens variant. So there he goes, writing it and doing the cover. We've got a Scott Koblish cover. You might see some of those other characters in this book. I don't know. It's really fun to look at this because there's like that Superman Millennium
Yep.
up there. You've got Eradicator. I mean, you've got Mon-El is really close to the front, which is awesome. I love covers like this.
Mhm.
We also have a Superman movie photo cover and a Bruno Redondo foil variant. So if you want a big old foil cover,
Yep.
this is going to be really cool.
Next up is Bring On the Bad Guys Abomination #1. Now, this is the third in the Bring On the Bad Guys series of one shots. The first one comes out next week. That's the Doom book. We'll be talking about that on Monday. But this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Mark Guggenheim, and the art is by Sergio Davila and Michael Sta Maria. And in this one, it says that the Abomination is always the right monster for the job, whether it's to fell the mighty Groot slaying in exchange for his freedom from a Wakandan prison, or to collect a soul on behalf of Mephisto. So nothing really more than that. Don't really know what the story of this is going to be. Maybe
it does mention a soul, which all of these have mentioned the soul
that's
forge
right,
and all of that.
And we will see a variant cover that connects them
Yeah.
together too. So not really sure. It sounds like maybe he might go on a couple of quests. Maybe somebody tells him to go do something and he goes and does it. But I think we'll have a better idea about what all of these are after we read the Doom book. And again, we'll tell you about that on Monday. But I don't know the last time we saw Abomination, and I've always liked the Abomination, so I'm just happy to have him in a book.
Cover. Who was he fighting on that Bring On the Bad Guys?
Oh, it was somebody that he shouldn't have been. Like, it's not like a street level, maybe like a Moon Knight or somebody.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I love Abomination. Sergio Davila is just wrapped up the Red Band Werewolf by Night book.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
Loved his art on that. So I think this is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our A cover, and then so here is the Fan Yang Sister Sorrow variant, and this is a new character that I think first appears in the Doom book that comes out next week. But she has been on the cover of all three of these that we've talked about so far. So maybe she's the connecting thread. This isn't one big story told across a miniseries, but maybe she is some kind of connective tissue between all three of them. So there's a Virgin variant of that one as well. There's a Jonas Scharf variant. That looks great.
Creepy.
Yeah. There's a Miguel Mercado variant and then a Todd Knock Iconic variant. So all of those look fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one in particular because the Doom one's really cool. But we've been reading about Doom for a while and stuff. But this is a character out of all of them because I think we're getting a Loki and some of those that just. When does Abomination get the spotlight on him?
I'm excited for the Red Skull one. We haven't talked about that one yet, but I don't think. What was the second one?
We had Doom. We had
Green Goblin.
Yeah. I think Hela's getting one.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some really cool ones coming out.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have Batman: Gotham by Gaslight, A League for Justice #1. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries by Andy Diggle, and the art is by Leonardo Fernandez. And this is kind of following up the previous Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age miniseries we had about a year ago, which reintroduced us to the Gotham by Gaslight world that was established back in the 80s, I think, with
Yeah.
Mike Mignola and everything. But it's essentially the DC universe, but in the Victorian age, Gaslight and everything. Um, so they kind of set this up in the previous one. We did see Wonder Woman and Superman in the previous one, but it looks like that's going to expand even more in this one because now they're pulling in more characters to create. It says witness the formation of a new kind of Justice League in a steam-powered adventure. So it's called Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I guess it could probably also be called Justice League by Gaslight or
Right.
something because it seems like they're really expanding this world, and it looks really fun. I'm not sure who the electric guy is. If that's supposed to be like Black
You
Lightning
think
or
maybe that's supposed to
the
be the
Flash?
Flash?
Okay, that would make sense with given the other
Yeah.
characters
And I
here.
just love that Green Lantern looks like Green Arrow.
Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah.
got the Green Arrow beard.
Yeah.
So this is our A cover for that. We also have a Fimiara variant. I love anytime Batman's on a horse.
Yeah.
And a Sienkiewicz variant as well.
Next is a new book from Image called The Unchosen. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. This is written and drawn by David Marquez. And he's actually created this one a couple of years ago, if not longer, because originally I took a look at this one, I want to say back in 2023 on a site called Zest World, which is a kind of a, I don't really know much about it, but it's kind of like a webtoon style website where, creators can post their original works. And he actually posted this on there, and we actually got to read a preview copy of this already. And it's about a girl named Ada. She's 13 years old, and she wakes up in a city laid waste by a massive explosion that she caused. And she's being pursued by rival forces wielding incredible powers. And she's going to have to try to figure out who wants to help her, who wants to control her, and the truth behind her own mysterious past. So I really really enjoyed this first issue. Of course, the artwork is fantastic, but it gave me vibes of like Harry Potter, not a Harry Potter, but not in story, but like in look. It's kind of like Hogwarts meets Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters because they do look like they're wearing like British like school uniforms. But at one point, a guy's eyes were glowing with like Kirby crackle around it and stuff, and there, and it tells like the story takes place in two different times where and it kind of jumps back and forth where she's with another student, and then like a group of bully students come up and they're about to get like some big magical battle before two of the, I guess, teachers show up and break it up. um, and that's intermixed with her waking up, like it says, in a barren wasteland, lying in a crater. And I feel like the crater happens first, and then the teachers find her and take her to that school, and then she meets
Learns
the bullies
to
and that kind of stuff.
whatever that is. Maybe.
Yeah, so it was really cool though. There's some really cool action in this, and it's like it's not like Harry Potter action where they all have wands and stuff. It's actually more like X-Men action, but instead of mutant powers, it's magic they're wielding. It looks really cool, and I can't wait to see like more of it because the ending kind of it kind of, well, I won't tell you about the ending, but yeah, it's really cool. I like this one a lot, so definitely check this one out for some like magic superheroic type stuff. This is our A cover, and then we also have another David Marquez cover, and that's Ada, your main character.
Well, next up we have our next of the giant size books. This is Giant Size House of M #1. So continuing Kamala's adventures through time and space, and dimensions and everything else. Uh, this I think takes place after the issue we have not got yet. That's the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Next, she finds herself in the House of M universe. If you're not familiar with that, it's a universe that is pretty much dominated by mutants. So it's kind of the quote unquote idealized version of, Xavier's idea or Magneto's idea.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of the main world where humans are the minority. Yeah.
Yeah, this comes after like the Scarlet Witch saying no more mutants and all of that. But Kamala finds herself in this idealized world, and it kind of sounds like she's good with it, because it does say that she is trying to learn to live in this brave new world, and she seeks the help of an unlikely ally. I don't know why it's unlikely, in a school teacher, Kitty Pryde. Because I imagine Kamala knows Kitty Pryde okay, but we'll have to find out why that's
But I'm
so
assuming
different.
this kitty doesn't know her though.
It's true, yeah. Um, but it does say, even though this is like an idealized world for them, if Kamala's there, so is Legion. And if you've been reading this, you know that is not good. This is maybe like the most powerful version of Legion we've seen and one of the most scary. So that sounds really cool. Again, this is by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, who've been doing all of these. And like all the other ones, there is a backup story in here. This one is by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Coccolo, reveal a secret memory that was disclosed to Wolverine at the end of House of M. So, what could that mean? I don't know.
Okay.
But sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
I liked the House of M time frame and everything.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to see the other characters in this.
Right.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Iron Man. They had very different stories there. But yeah, sounds really cool. And I've been enjoying these so far, if not just for the sense of like visiting these time frames that I'm a fan of. So we've got our A cover right here. We have a Talavera with Scarlet Witch, maybe saying no more mutants. We have a Coccolo cover, so this might be, you know, kind of a hint at what's going to be in that backup story. And we have a Phil Noto variant, which is a nice homage to House of M, number one, where that's happening to Scarlet Witch.
Next up, we have Wild Animals number 1. This is a 5-issue miniseries from Mad Cave, written by Ed Brisson and the artist by Andy Kuhn. And this is set 15 years after. So our main character here, his name's Neil. This is set 15 years after his father was killed by a group of crooked cops. And now his mother is on her deathbed as well. And he's stuck in a dead-end job. He has nowhere to live. And he finds himself backed into a corner with no choice but to take a stand and right the wrongs that have haunted him for years. It says, revenge is a dangerous path to walk. And the deeper Neil goes, the more he realizes that violence is all-consuming. And to me, it sounds like he's going to take revenge on those crooked cops that killed his father and maybe anybody else who wronged him or his family in the last 15 years or so. So it sounds like a sweet tale of revenge. This is our A cover by Andy Kuhn, so that's your interior artist, and then there's a Robert Hack variant.
Well, next up, this is a big one. This is Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob number 1. This is going to be a double-sized issue. It's just a one-shot, but possibly leading into more. This is going to be by Kevin Smith, Fernando Ruiz, and Rich Kowalski, who are very famous, like, classic Archie artists, plus Matt Hermes and Jack Morelli. And I actually got a chance. I haven't read it like page by page, but I've read a lot of this. We got an early copy, but it's a big issue to read. But this is not your traditional Archie book. This way more is closer to a Kevin Smith movie. This is, I would say, a mature title, which is crazy to say for an Archie book, but there's language, there's, innuendo and references and everything in this. But if you're a fan of Kevin Smith and the Clerks movies and Jay and Silent Bob, you will love this. So in this, what's supposed to be a summer job at the Quick Stop for Archie turns into much more, from a budding friendship with co-worker Randall Graves to crashing a Pussycats concert and a potential love interest in Jay and Silent Bob doing what they do best. And you probably know what that is. This is actually really fun. The bits of it I've read, Archie definitely plays the kind of like wide-eyed, like, whoa, what did you just say? I don't think that's appropriate type thing. But even in this, could they even help Archie choose between Betty and Veronica? We'll have to find out. But this is really fun because a lot of people hit, especially Jay hits on Betty, and she lets him have it, which is really fun to see. But yeah, if you are a fan of Archie, I would say this is not what maybe you're expecting, unless you're just like a hardcore Archie fan and read everything. But if you're a Kevin Smith and all of his movie fans, you'll definitely want to check this out. Because it's not only Jay and Silent Bob, there are references to a lot of other Kevin Smith movies in here that's really fun. But yeah, I actually found myself really enjoying this.
I'd love to see Archie and the gang go to the mall in Mallrats.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you might. You'll have to.
That kid's playing on the escalator again. Yeah.
Archie or Jughead staring at a picture trying to see a sailboat.
Sailboat, right?
But we've got our A cover here. This one's really cool because this is the homage, like movie poster.
Yeah, like the Clerks. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a Francavilla variant. We have a Phil Hester variant. You probably shouldn't let them in a school.
Yeah.
They're problems. We have a Dan Parent variant, which is really fun. A Ty Templeton variant. A Fernando Ruiz and Rich Kowalski. I believe this is a foil variant of that A cover. And there is also a foil version of the Francavilla cover. So a lot to choose from. And yeah, it seems like Kevin Smith is getting back into comics because I think a couple other things were announced that maybe he has something coming up at Marvel and everything. Yeah. So yeah, it's another return of the 90s.
All right, next up we have Marvel Knights of the World to Come #2. Well, we originally talked about this one on our Flash show last week, but now it's in its rightful FOC date now. So in this one, it says that the world to come and how it got that way is revealed. And that was one of my biggest questions is after reading the first issue, because everything seemed to revolve around something, an event or something like that changed the world. But what was that event? How did it change the world? That kind of thing we didn't know. But it sounds like we might get those answers in here. And then it says, what is happening in Mexico? What does Everett K. Ross have to do with what's happening? And who is T'Challa's heir? Which is the other real big question after the very last page of the first issue is, who the heck is this guy and how is that a thing? So, yeah, so it sounds like we might get some answers in this issue. The first issue was pretty cool, but there was just so much going on.
There were more questions than
more
answers.
questions, yeah. And I was like, just what is going on and what is this story? What does it mean? That kind of thing. So hopefully this will start to fill in some of those blanks. So we have this A cover here. We have a David Marquez variant and a Taran Clark variant.
Next up, we have New Avengers #2. #1 came out this week.
This week, yeah.
And it was awesome. This is a great book by Sam Humphries on the writing. And this is, of course, was originally called Defenders. Then they changed the name. Thunderbolts. Yeah. Then they changed it to, we need another Defenders book too. Right. But changed the name to New Avengers, of course, kind of coinciding with the movie. But this one, I still don't want to give away some of the big plot twists in this, but there is some deranged duplicates that the New Avengers ran into at the end of the first issue that definitely have me questioning a lot of things. Also, we saw a villain that we definitely don't associate with pretty much any of these characters, so that was really cool to see. But because of these duplicates attacked, this prompts Clea to show up, which I'm not sure what is going to be the instigating fact other than something weird's going on.
Well, we saw her in the last issue briefly.
Yeah.
And she sensed something that makes sense that she sensed it, but we didn't really see her head that way yet. Right, yeah.
So, but even some of these doubles are too powerful even for her. So, to understand how to stop them, the team needs a genius, one who isn't connected or kind of related to some of the duplicates. And their best candidate is green and very, very angry. So, I think we're going to really start, maybe by the end of this issue, have the team that was like shown on the cover of #1.
Well, we still have to see Carnage.
Carnage would be, I guess, the last one.
I think he's the last one, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the first issue, and I think this one sounds really cool.
Yeah, I really, really like the first one a lot. I wanted the second issue right away, so I can't wait for this.
You got this Black Bolt on the cover, but if he appears in here, he may not exactly look like that. Yep. So, yep, this is your A cover. We have an Andy Park Marvel Studios variant. A Ben Oliver Clea variant that's really nice. A Rod Rice Killuminati variant.
I like this one.
And a Stefano Caselli variant as well. Yeah, it's such a wild team, but somehow it works. Especially like Namor being there.
Yeah.
I was wondering how he's got a big ego. How's it gonna fit? And that does come to play in the first issue.
Next up is Robin and Batman. Excuse me, Robin and Batman Jason Todd #2. This is the second of a 3-issue miniseries. In this one, at the very end of the last issue, which was the first issue, we saw this character named the Wraith pop up.
He's right there on the bottom right.
Yeah, he's right there on the bottom right. And it says that a mysterious and well-armed assassin named Wraith has arrived in Gotham and set his sights on Jason Todd. And with tensions rising between Batman and Jason, and we saw some of that in the first issue, will Wraith's corruptive force be enough to push Jason over the edge? What I'm wondering is, it sounds like, oh, he's an assassin and he has his sights set on Jason Todd. He's there to kill him, right? But I feel like, I wonder if he's there to kill him or there to sort of corrupt him and maybe turn him against Batman. And maybe sort of play on that tension between Jason and Batman. I'm not sure, but that would be a cool story. So this is our A cover. We have a Raphael Albuquerque variant and a Gilliam March variant. I think this one's really cool.
Yeah, and you've got Disco Nightwing in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting a lot of stories of Jason Todd and his kind of relationship with Batman and his blame on Batman and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about a trade later on that they're reprinting that seems...
Well, and outside of that, we'll be talking about Jason Todd again here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so very, very interesting. Well, next up we have Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit, number 2 of 5. This is a weekly series, so there's no new information on what happens in issue number 2. We just know that this club has opened up in Gotham that's space themed, only to find out that it's run by Despero, which I love Despero. And you're gonna have the Sirens go up against him. And yeah, I we'll know more once the first issue comes out. But because this is weekly, you need to go ahead and sign up for it before it's too late, before it kind of gets past you. But I'm very excited for this. We've got a great Terry Dodson A cover right here. We've got a Nubovich variant, a Gilliam March regular connecting variant, and then there is the special foil variant for those as well.
Next up is Supergirl number 3, and it says that this is the debut of Satan Girl, which sounds terrifying. And I guess maybe it's the Maiden of Fright. I guess maybe that's her. We know that Kara and Lena Luthor come together to battle the woman who is posing as Supergirl. We learn more about her in the second issue. And will Lena's brains and Kara's brawn be enough to take her down? But Satan Girl, I think, is somebody different.
Someone different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that doesn't really match. Like, that is not who we saw at the end
that's
of the
not,
first issue.
I can't remember her name. But yeah, that's not her. So it sounds like Supergirl is going to have 2 different threats to deal with, which is really cool. So I've been enjoying these first 2 issues, and this should be fun too. So this is our A cover. We have a Art Germ variant, which I love, with a Streaky. And then Leslie Larrick's Lee variant. That's a great one too.
Yeah, I'm always happy for more Supergirl.
Yeah.
Next up, we have more Essential Comics. We're going to start off with...
Oh, this one's mine too.
Yep.
This is Action Comics number 1088. 1087 came out this week. It was great. The first of what Action Comics is going to be about for a while, telling stories of Superman back when he was 15 as Superboy. And in this one, it says that after a disastrous debut in Metropolis, which we saw last issue, the Kents are worried that the world is not ready for Superboy, and they're going to do whatever it takes to protect him. But little do they know, they're about to send him to one of the most terrifying places on the planet, Smallville High. So I love that. I love, like...
It feels like we're going straight down the Smallville, the show.
Right. I know. Like, it's awesome enough that we're getting stories of Superboy, but now we're going to have to see him, like, deal with high school as well. We had plenty of teen heroes, but, it's been decades since we've had a good, like, rich story of Superboy dealing with high school.
And I love the, like... He wants to play football, but he has to really hold back, and he has to lose on purpose sometimes.
Right.
And definitely dealing with, like, well, I've got these powers, and why shouldn't I use them?
Dealing with bullies and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And what sneaky ways he goes about of, like, the bully turns around and he's, like, hanging from the flagpole or something.
Yeah.
And, I'm so excited for this, because it's almost like when Peter Parker's in high school, it's like, it lasts for a second, and then he's out. It's like, now we're going back to Superman being in high school, and hopefully we get this for a long time.
Yeah. So this is our A cover. We have a Leonardo Romero cover, and then we have a Carl Kirsch cover.
I like the sneakers with the... He doesn't need the boots. He just has regular tennis shoes.
Yeah, and Skylar Patridge, the way that she drew it in number 1087, he didn't really have, like, The briefs, they were more like red shorts, like
Yeah.
gym shorts almost, with the shoes, and I thought that looked fantastic.
Yeah. Well, next up we have Aquaman number 7. I'm very excited about this one. John Timms is back on art for this issue. As you can tell by the cover, this is going to be a big issue because it says a heartbreaking reality will change Aquaman forever. And I wonder if that has something to do with maybe he can't save Atlantis. Maybe he can't get Atlantis back. Or something with Mara or whatever that's going to be really tough. And he gets a step closer to facing Dagon face to face. So especially now that we're issue 7, I bet we are getting close to the big culmination of this story. And I almost wonder maybe he can't move Atlantis back to where it was. Maybe Atlantis is now going to exist within the blue. Some
Maybe.
cool ideas around this series.
Yeah, because what if he defeats Dagon and then he becomes the keeper of the blue, just like
Yeah.
you have Swamp Thing and who does the red?
Animal Man.
Yeah, so maybe he's the keeper of the blue and he'll sort of join that pantheon of characters.
So one, we've got this great A cover here, but we also have a Edwin Gallman.
That one's great.
Where he's got the throne and everything. And in the last issue, somebody said, "Can't you talk to these fish?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I guess he also still has the power to talk to
that
fish."
was a big question mark after the first issue.
He's just double powered now. We have a Lyrics cover, a Yildrim variant, which love that.
Yeah, that's great.
And there's a Mark Spears trading card variant.
Next up, we have Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, number 2. This is going to be a 6-issue series. And hey, look, that's Jason Todd on the cover. So in this one, Wonder Girl, who is the middle Lizzie, she's like the preteen Lizzie, she travels to the Gotham of the past to try to capture the elusive Bat Corgi. Because remember, in the first issue, they mess with time and all the heroes turn into corgis. And when she's in there, she encounters Jason Todd. Will they be able to put their differences aside to find the pup before it's too late? And I can see, she's pretty sassy herself, so I can see Jason Todd and her jawing at each other through the whole issue. So that sounds like a lot of fun. And I guess I was thinking in the first issue maybe their time shenanigans turned everybody into corgis, but I guess not. Maybe it was just like a small group of heroes.
Justice League or something like that.
Because Jason Todd is normal there. So we have this A cover. There's a Ben Oliver variant,
I love
which is a nice homage cover.
Yeah.
There's an Edgeker variant, and there is a Tuolote variant. That's it.
I like because the first one had the homage to Crisis.
Yep.
Now this one is Death of the
Family. Yep.
Well, next up, we don't talk about Rick and Morty much, but they're about to have one of the biggest Rick and Morty related things ever. This is Rick and Morty versus the Universe. It's going to be a 4-issue miniseries. It says 4 issues, but later in the solicitation it says a 7-part countdown. So who knows what is true with Rick and Morty? You just never know. This is by Daniel Kibblesmith, and the art is by Jarrett Williams. And in this, it says the first big Rick and Morty comics event ever, as everything kicks off. Everything that was, is, and will be is going to be potentially destroyed because of a bachelor party that gets a little out of hand because Rick ruins it, and then they are suddenly on the run from every single universe they've messed with. And it emphasizes like every universe you've seen because when they're on the run, every dimension they jump into also wants to kill them. And so this says it's starring everyone. So any character you've ever seen potentially is going to be in this. And I know a little bit extra about this. And yeah, this is leading up to some very big stuff. So if you're a fan of Rick and Morty and you never read the comics, they actually capture the tone and the feel and the humor and everything of the show really, really well. But yeah, this sounds really fun. This is the A cover. There is a Wongedian variant and a Troy Little variant. Gives me like kind of Eternity vibes.
Yeah. Next is Texarcanum number 1. This is going to be a 4-issue series from Dark Horse. This is written by Christopher Monfett, and the art is by Miguel Martos. And it says that ghosts and gods, angels and demons, horror stories and tall tales, they've all traveled from across the globe to collide in the rural heartland. And there is a cowboy arcanist named Avery Bell who has spent a very long lifetime amongst them. And that's it. So I don't really know. Is he kind of like a supernatural? Kind of gives me vibes of like Constantine a little bit.
Yeah.
Is he going to be like a Constantine character where he's like dealing with all these supernatural things that have converged on this small, unassuming town? I don't know, but that's kind of what it sounds like, and that sounds pretty fun.
I like all the creepy things in the clouds.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And this is our only cover.
Yeah. Well, next up we have Death of the Silver Surfer #2. I love this cover. This is one of the coolest covers. But there's not a whole lot of information, and in the first issue we also talked about like we don't exactly know what the story of this as a whole thing is.
Like if this were just called Silver Surfer, if it were a new Silver Surfer series, I'd be like, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is Death of the Silver Surfer. Like what?
Yeah, and in this it does say that humanity, the rivals of Silver Surfer, because for some reason humanity doesn't like Silver Surfer, which what's not to like? He seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
And their hubris and greed for untapped power awakens an ancient threat born of Galactus. So I don't know what that means. Like, is it something of Galactus? What is it? Another herald? Is it something else? We don't know. But it does look like it's going to involve Galactus in some way, even though he's a big floaty dead skull. But first issue was awesome, and I can't wait to read more and really find out what this is all about. This is your A cover. There's an Aaron Cooter variant. There's a Castanelli variant.
I love that one.
That one's really, really cool. In the front of the board, it's like on fire. And there is a Kale New variant.
And next up is Spider-Girl #2. #1 came out this week, and it was a lot of fun. This says, as Spider-Girl investigates Vermin's attack, referencing what happened in the first issue, Lady Bullseye strikes, but are her loyalties what they seem? So, I don't know if, because Spider-Girl, when we first met her in the pages of Spider-Boy, she was kind of Bullseye's protege, and now Lady Bullseye's showing up, but is she working for Bullseye? Is she there maybe to help Spider-Girl? I don't know. Maybe she's there to train her a little bit more. That would be neat. So this is our A cover, and then we have a Nogi-san variant.
Next up, we have Star Wars #3. I'm excited about this one. The last issue didn't have any Han in it at all. This one sounds it's mainly Han and Valance and Lando. They must help an old friend. We don't necessarily know who that is yet, but we are also getting flashbacks of Han and Chewie's early adventures. And a mysterious figure from the past reemerges using a new model cloud car, which is really interesting because when we found out about the series, there was the idea that this is going to take a lot of inspiration from unused Kenner designs for toys. One of those was an unused design for a cloud car. You actually see it on one of the other covers. But I just think it's funny. A cloud car is not necessarily like the most intimidating thing. Yeah. But this is your A cover by Phil Noto. You have a Pegulayan cover, and that's the cloud car in the back, that weird little bumpy ship. We have a Chris Sprouse Force Awakens 10th Anniversary variant, and a John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. Next up, we got continuing stories, starting with
EC's Blood Type #2, and in this one, Ada continues to explore her lush new hunting ground, the tourist island that she's on. But the specter of a different predator casts its own will of evil over paradise. And we saw in the first issue, she hears tale of other vampires, but as she investigates, she says something about, that sounds like a ghoul, not a vampire, and I hate ghouls, so she's very wary of what's there. And she'll have to keep a low profile while fulfilling her own bloodlust and trying to understand what hunts the hunter. So it sounds like maybe she's not the most dangerous thing on this island. So we have our A cover, and then there's an Andrea Sorrentino variant, and then that's your interior artist.
Next up, just want to mention that Heavy Metal Magazine #2 is up for order. Heavy Metal had a big comeback with their issue #1. So you've got some of your longtime favorite creators and stories, plus brand new adventures coming into this one. And yeah, always love Heavy Metal for bringing in creators and styles and everything that maybe you don't get in your traditional big two companies. Something different. So if you are looking for a cool new anthology, look no further than an old style one with heavy metal. We've got our A cover right here, a Patrick Riley variant, a Janetsky cover. Well, if it would go, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, oh, and a Jim Mahfood cover.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Just making some notes here. This is Predator versus Spider-Man number 4, and in this one, the Predators have Skinner, which is like this psycho predator that's been stalking New York. The Predators who have come to take that predator back, they have him in their crosshairs. But another great hunter stands in their way, and that is Kraven the Hunter. And it says, I love this. It says Spider-Man takes to the rooftops where he discovers something that threatens to destroy all of New York City. And he probably just discovers like the Predator's ship looming over the city or something. But I love thinking that this is issue number 4, and there's a Predator stalking another Predator, and Kraven's mixing it up with them. And I love the idea that all that's going on, and Spider-Man is just now learning. Wait a minute, there might be some like extraterrestrial shenanigans going on. Like I love the thought of him being like completely behind the 8 ball. But I think it'll be something different than that. So we have our A cover, and there's Apollo Sakura variant also,
Really
which is a nice homage of
that
Captain America.
Yeah, that Captain America
with Wolverine. Yeah.
Next up, we got Cover Gallery. Some really cool covers. Starting with Batman and Robin number 23. This is a J. Anacleto Gotham City Sirens variant. So some of the books for this month and around the time of the Gotham City Sirens book releasing are going to have homage covers to that.
This is Green Lantern Corps number 6. This is our Edwin Gallman variant with Joe Mullen, and then we have a Ryan Gonzalez variant with Jessica Cruz. Yep. That's paper doll variant.
And next up, I just thought this was really cool. This is the I Hate Fairyland for issue number 42, and I think this is called like the Helicorn or something like that. And it's gonna.
I would absolutely read that.
Yeah, it's gonna bring in like a darker side to I Hate Fairyland. And just as a wonderful homage to Mike Mignola with this one. And there's the B cover that is a black and white version of it.
The next we have Eddie Brock Carnage number 6. This is the Jim Rugg Retrovision variant.
The next up we have Exceptional X-Men number 11. This is the Yoon variant. And I want to point out with Emma Frost on the cover, we'll be talking about the new Emma Frost book on Monday for that big show we're going to be doing.
And this is Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu number 10. This is the Paolo Sakura Retro. That doesn't look like a Retrovision variant.
A Retrovision variant. Yeah. Maybe it's missing its trade dress or something. Yeah.
Oh. And sorry, other page. This is a Stephen Platt variant, which Stephen Platt doing Moon Knight. That's 90s as I'll get at right there.
Next up, we have New Champions, the Manahini Night Drifter first appearance variant. So I think this is a new character they're bringing in with a Night Drifter.
And then we have Ultimate Black Panther number 18. This is the Chris Allen variant. And is that T'Challa? Wasn't there a cover where Killmonger was wearing the Black Panther suit? So I'm not sure. I think it is T'Challa because he was wearing that's the non-vibranium suit. Yeah. And he's with Storm and they're palling around right now.
And then there is Ultimate X-Men number 17. This is the Nick Klein Ultimate Special variant. And I wonder what happens there, because that looks real weird. Next up, we got Bookshelf. These are some collected editions and graphic novels and all that kind of stuff.
This is Batman 66, The Compendium. I'm really excited for this one. This is going to be $59.99. This collects Batman 66 number 1 through 30. Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77 number 1 through 6. Batman 66 meets the Legion of Superheroes one shot, and a few more as well. I've read very, very, very little of this, but I know it ran for a long time, so I definitely want to pick this up and like enjoy the whole thing.
Next up, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is Batman Red Hood: The Lost Days. So very interesting they're putting this out right now with all the other Jason Todd stuff and with what's going on in Hush 2.
Yep.
This is very similar. So this came out quite a few years ago. I want to say like 2008-ish, something like that. This is by Judd Winnick, and the artist by Jeremy Wan and Pablo Raimondi. This collects issues 1 through 6 of the miniseries. This is also when Jason Todd had red hair, which was kind of a weird thing. But see if this sounds familiar. after Jason comes back from the dead, his target is Joker and also Batman for refusing to put Joker down, which is very similar to what's going on in Hush 2 right
Yeah.
now, with his anger about that.
Hey, Jeff Loeb, somebody already told your story that you're telling right now.
This is basically the origin of Jason Todd's return. So the kind of the space in between his resurrection and Red Hood,
Yeah.
under the Red Hood, that kind of fits in there, where you kind of see him come back from the Lazarus pit and everything that led up to that. And yeah, I remember this. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I
Yeah.
remember being really interested in it. So yeah, if you want to check it out, this is going to be $17.99.
And this is Batman Year 100, the 2025 edition of the trade paperback. This is going to be 1999. Collects Batman Year 100, number 1 through 4. And if you don't know, this is set in a dark dystopian world. It's devoid of privacy, full of government conspiracies. Everybody knows everybody else's business. But there is one bizarre anomaly, and that is the Batman. So I don't remember when this came out. It's several years old.
Yeah, I
But
mean it's pre 2000.
I think so. I want to say maybe like in the 80s or maybe the 90s.
Yeah,
Actually, the 90s sounds right.
This really put Paul Pope on the map.
Yeah.
For this style and everything. So yeah, it's one of those very like distinct versions of Batman.
Yeah.
That stands out.
Yeah, and this is a new edition of the trade paperback.
Next up, we have Black Lightning, the standard. This is collecting the miniseries that just wrapped up, all 5 issues of that by Brandon Thomas and Cheryl Lynn Eaton, and phenomenal art by Fico Osio. I think that is one of the big standouts of this. It deals a lot with Black Lightning and his daughters. But not only does this come with issue 1 through 5, also stories from DC's Saved by the Bell Reeve and DC Power 2024
Wow.
and DC Rise of the Power Company.
Dang.
So this is going to have quite a bit in it
Yeah.
to get all the Black Lightning you could want, and it's only $17.99.
Yeah. That's a lot for that price. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, oh my gosh, the question all along the Watchtower, the trade paperback. This is going to be $17.99 and collects all 6 issues of this miniseries. We loved this as it was coming out. I want more. I didn't want it to end. So fantastic artwork, a really cool mystery. Other characters pop up like this one. This one is a great story to read, and it's going to be a great trade.
Yeah. Next up, we have Star Wars Kanan. This is the kind of Marvel, what is it? Marvel Epic, Modern Epic
Modern
collection.
Era Epic Collections.
This is really cool. So this is kind of a prequel comic to the Star Wars Rebels show. This is where you see Kanan when he was younger, when he had his master, when Order 66 happened, and kind of all the adventures that led up to the Kanan you know. What's phenomenal about this, it's written by Greg Weisman, who is currently writing all the Gargoyle stuff and everything, and the art is by Pepe Larraz. This is one of his early things. This is the first time I noticed him where I was like, oh my gosh, this art is incredible. Seeing him do Star Wars stuff is so cool.
Is Kanan a Jedi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every Star Wars fan just screamed at me, but I don't know that. I don't know if he.
He kind of after Order 66 has to hide it.
Okay.
But he ends up training Ezra and everything. But this does have this is kind of him during the Rebels era, flashing back to that time. This is when it originally released was the first comic appearance of all the Rebels cast.
Oh, okay.
So really cool. The single issues are kind of expensive. This comes with issues 1 through 12. What was funny was issues 1 through 6 were called Kanan, the Last Padawan, and issues 6 through 12 were just called Star Wars Kanan. And I don't remember them doing that, but even when it breaks it down for this, it puts a comma in between 1 through 6 and 6 through 12. So very interesting. But this is going to be $37.99.
And this is the Rook Exodus Deluxe Edition hardcover, which I love. Rook Exodus. I can't wait to have this in this format. It's going to be $39.99 and collects all 6 issues that have been out so far of Rook Exodus. It's coming back with number 7 in October, so we're about to get new stories. And this actually comes out. It comes out on October 29th. So probably right around the time that number 7 comes out, so you could grab this one and then grab number 7, be all caught up. But this book is going to look gorgeous in this form.
Yeah. Next up, we got new printings, and of course, we got to kick it off with Invincible Universe Battle Beast #1. This is going to be your third printing of that, and start your counters. How
How
many
many printing?
printings is
Yeah,
this
I was
going
about
to
to say,
get?
there's no way this stops at third printing.
No, no, definitely not. So we'll be talking about issue #2 on Monday's show. Some of you may have already read it from the blind bag. Some of you may not have, but it only gets better. So if you missed #1, pick up this one right here.
Next, we have Imperial #1, the second print. I really like the first one so much, and I cannot wait for the next issue. So, if you're late to the party, you can't find the first issue, now is your chance to grab it again.
And this is really cool. This is One
Yeah.
World Under Doom. We are getting reprints of issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. These covers are by Ben Harvey. For issue #1, this is a third printing. But check this out. So we've got #1, #2, #3, and #4. So I feel like they were like, these at least have to make it to second printing so we can
Yeah.
do this cover idea. So spell out Doom with your
Yeah.
comics with these third printings, and the rest of them are second printings. And it's been a great series so far.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked out One World Under Doom, please do that because we very much enjoy it.
They're like, oh shoot, we've got 5 more issues after this. So what's a 5-letter word or a 3 and a 2-letter word? Like we gotta like finish it out, you know?
The next is gonna be like apostrophe S,
Right.
and then it's like, what is it? What
Yeah.
has he got? That reveals the big secret to the whole
Oh,
thing.
that's right, yeah.
Well, that is it from Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. As always, head on over to infinityflux.net right now. You can start placing and pricing your pre-orders, which your pre-orders are due Sunday by 9, so you can get them in, and we can place all those orders when we do them on Monday, so you don't miss out on any of the awesome comic goodness. Let me warn you, Monday is going to be a big show.
Just to give you an idea, that's all the ones that I have to read. Andy has a similar size stack. Some are the same, some are different. Monday's show is going to be about 7 hours long.
Yeah.
Bring a snack, maybe we'll put an intermission in there
Yeah.
somewhere. But that's next week is huge.
It's huge, but some awesome books. I mean, it's so huge because there's big #1s, big #2s. That's kind of the theme of this one is, Battle Beast #2,
Superman Unlimited #2.
Superman Unlimited #2.
Yeah.
We've got Crypto #1. Tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Tons of really awesome stuff we can't wait to talk about. So you'll have a better idea of what to expect when you go into your comic book store on Wednesday. But if you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure to go ahead and do that. We would really appreciate it. And until next time, see ya.